Each day is an opportunity. This is your moment. Dig hard and you will find the right answer. You are the only person with your exact blend of talents and skills. The secret of joy in work is contained in one word: excellence. Each day is an opportunity. This is your moment. Always be the first motivation. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on whatever time it is you are listening to me. My name is Ebo the Inspirationist, and this morning I want to inspire you. But before I inspire you, I want us to take a moment and thank God for His goodness, for His loving kindness, for His protection upon our lives. We bless His name evermore without end for His goodness. Well, today I want to talk to you about stay in the ark. Stay in the ark. I got this inspiration from the Bible, where God told Noah to build an ark to save his people, to separate his people from the world. Now remember, before God said that, there was sin all over the world, and God had wanted to save the righteous. That is a way God used in saving His people. He used an ark. He could have used something better, like a nice edifice, like a tall building, a nice building. Yes, but He chose to use an ark, which people didn't really recognize as nice or a place to live in. Well, that prevented a lot of people from entering, because it will not engulf their habits, their sin, the immoral things they used to do. So they didn't see any need to enter. But you would realize that after Noah had built the ark, he even preached to them. So there was a need for repentance, so that they could make it to the ark. They could make it to the saving grace. They could make it and live after us. But they decided to live a life that would please them. So after Noah had built it, he entered with his family. And it doesn't really look nice to enter or to go into an ark. But that was the means God chose to save His people. God can save you out of any mess you are. He can use anything to save His people. I'm assuming Noah was not comfortable with where he was. But since it was an instruction from God, he had to obey. He had to obey. We saw what happened after the rain had come on the surface of the earth. There was distraction, people trying to at first, it may seem a normal rain to them. So people would just be trying to catch up with things so that it wouldn't destroy their lives. People climbing trees and all buildings, or the tallest building in the world. But believe you me, the water came reaching there, and their lives were destroyed. But here is my emphasis, that even in the ark, which is the comfort zone of Noah and his family, he didn't have it peacefully. He didn't have it easy. It wasn't easy with him. You know why? Because the ark was on the flood. So as the flood kept moving, it will move the ark. It will move them from one side of the flood to the other side of the flood. There will be a turbulence. That is the right word. A turbulence of the ark. Now, what this means is that you are at the right stage of your life where you are in an ark. Don't force yourself out. No, don't stay in the ark. Whatever problem you are going through, sometimes the problems we go through in life is to save us from the mess that would have come upon us where we are not facing any problem. So the people who were in the world and they didn't want to enter the ark thought that where they are is peaceful, because they are able to enjoy their lives peacefully. But coming upon them was a disaster that no solution could ever be gotten to that. So sometimes it is better you suffer. I keep saying, even in my last video, I said, suffer to gain is better than gaining to suffer. So it was time for Noah to suffer and gain afterwards, than the people enjoying and ending their lives afterwards. So Noah didn't have it easy with being in the ark. God promised him that it was going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights. Listen carefully, 40 days and 40 nights. But you would notice that Noah was in the ark for more than 40 days and 40 nights. Does it mean God is a liar? No. It stopped raining exactly on the 40th day. But then the flood had not receded from the surface of the earth. There was still water on the surface of the earth. So supposing Noah was recalcitrant on the 40th day to have come out, he could have ended his life too. Normally, when we are closer to our breakthroughs, that is when the devil comes speaking to us and polluting us to do something that will go against what we are expected to have. So normally we do things in the opposite way when we are about to get to where we are supposed to get to in life. If you don't wait for the appropriate time to rise, you rise at the wrong time and fall at the approximate time to rise. Sometimes we are very close to our destinies, to our breakthrough, to receive something significant, but because we couldn't stay in the ark, which is our problems, for a little longer, we end up losing it all. So supposing Noah had come out on the 40th day, it would have been to his harm. The water would just gush inside the ark and would destroy him too. So sometimes it is best, we'll get the prophecies from our men of God, from the dreams we have, giving us exact dates to receive exact blessings, to receive significant blessings. But then when the day is due and there seems to be no sign, note that is the turning point of life. That is where change is going to take place. It is going to come. Yes, it is going to come. The day given to you is not to say that it must happen on that day. No. So it means that from that space of time forward, you should look for something good coming your way. You should expect something great. That is it. So for Noah's case, it was physical for him to see, because he could open the window to see the water outside of the ark, to see the reason why God was telling him not to come out. But in our case today, we may not see the reason why the said day has passed and still not seen the prophecy come to pass. It might be something we are not seeing. Sometimes the problems we are in is not to damage our life, but to save us from a more dangerous problem that could even end our lives. Just imagine, I can bear with this. Well, one day I was going to class very late and walking on the pedestrian's walkway, and a car just came out of the house and just trying to beat the traffic and the cars that were passing by. It nearly knocked me down. But what saved me was a stone. I stumbled on a stone, which delayed my step. So then the car came passing by and I have my life saved. And I kept on thanking God since then. Like, it isn't that I've not been thankful, but I kept wondering why God was so like merciful to me, and I wish you were there to witness how it happened. So sometimes what we go through in life, you may have lost a beloved, you may have lost a huge amount of money, you may have run at a loss as a businessman, whatever predicament it is. Sometimes what we go through in life, it's not to destroy us, but that to protect it from the harm that we cannot bear. The difficult times, look at it this way. You see, when you are drowning, right, and you get the opportunity to be saved from drowning, you are saved, you feel comfortable, you are saved, but then you still feel the coldness of the water, you still feel the breeze of the water. That is life. So although you are at the right path of life, you wouldn't get it easy, but stay in the ark. You are poor now and you think using a dubious means to get money will be it all. No, stay in the ark. Keep working hard. On the 40th day, when Noah was supposed to come out, supposing he was recalcitrant, his life would have been ended. So it was good he stayed a little longer. It was good. He stayed a little longer. Now, what interests me the most was the ark finally rested on a mountain. On a mountain. It didn't land. It could have landed on a low level ground, but it landed on a mountain, which I interpret it as upliftment in the spirit and upliftment after his troubles. So after every predicament you go through, there will be an upliftment. You will go higher than you were before. It was a significant sign of God blessing him uniquely. Is it after the flood, God didn't ask him to thank him, no, but he saw every need to be thankful to God, because it did save him from a mess that would have come upon his life. Be in the ark you are. Stay in the ark, no matter what your situation is. I cannot understand it, and I wouldn't understand it because I am not God. But then everything happens for your reason. Everything happens for your reason. Just keep calm, and at the right time, you will get to your place of blessing. You will get to your place of rest. Noah didn't get it easy. We wouldn't get it easy. Even God telling him to build an ark. Ask yourself, did God give him the wood, the nails, the roofing sheets, the things he used? No, but God gave him specifically the instructions. He told him to build windows, to build doors, to do this, to design it this way. He gave him a plan. But did God give him the tools to execute those plans? No, he didn't. So the rest was up to Noah to get his woods, to get his roofing sheets and all these equipment to ensure that the work is done to the perfection of God. Now note this beyond doubt, that he wasn't the only one who may have built it. Some of the unbelievers who died out of the flood might be employed to help in the construction of the ark. You will bear with me that even today we have people who work for believers, disbelievers who work for believers, and they work because of the gain they will get out of what they're doing. So you working with a man of God doesn't mean you are saved. You working with a vice chancellor, or your father being a vice chancellor, doesn't mean that when you die today you're going to make it to heaven. You being one of the most prominent person on the surface of the earth doesn't guarantee you a better place when you are no more. But then you have to fight for your own salvation. You have to fight for your own success. You have to fight for your own destiny to come to play in life. But then doing this, you have to make sure it is in line, it is conforming to what God brought you into this world to do, the purpose for your birth. As I said, God didn't give Noah logs to build the ark, but then it was up to Noah to look for those things. Noah was not an ark builder, he was a farmer. So his was to grow crops, to harvest them, and to sell them. It had nothing to do with building of arks. But when the time was due, he had to build it. This is your time to work hard. This is your time to find the purpose for your birth and do accordingly. Don't entangle yourself with the things of the world, the immoral practices. No. When the time of the flood comes, it will come to destroy you. Make sure you are always in the ark. And the ark is not going to be peaceful like you think it is. You would suffer today and you will reap tomorrow. Keep working at yourself. Keep doing whatever thing you need to do to keep you safe. Read your books, the books that will motivate you enough to get to where you want to get to. Read books that will improve upon your life. Get yourself involved in something positive. And at the right time, you will get to your mountain. You will get to your mountain. When you read the scripture, you well understand that after the flood was a room created for Noah for development, to develop, to improve upon his life, and to reform things in his life. It will get to that part in your life where you would even forget your suffering, your pain, the predicament, the hard time when things were pressing, hitting you hard, when you thought that was going to be the end of it. No, that is not going to be the end of it. You trying to kill yourself, you looking at me, watching me right now, wanting to kill yourself. No, don't kill yourself. This is not the end. I have gotten to that part of life where I thought everything was lost, everything was gone. That was going to be the end of me. But then, when I wait a little longer, although I'm not a perfect person today, but then I see changes. So the one thing that keeps inspiring me is that my past cannot be compared to my present. My present has always been better than my past. So it gives me an assurance that my future is going to be bigger, better, and greater. Thanks for listening to me. My name is Ebo the Inspirationist. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel as I keep on bringing you inspiring thoughts every week. Thanks for listening and have a lovely day.